Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Gridiron Glory here with Will and Tad. Today, we're going to preview the Arizona Cardinals here in the NFC West, 8-9 a season ago. They are looking for Kyler Murray to take the next step forward, prove that he can accept a leadership role. He can be the quarterback they drafted him to be, that can lead them to a playoff run, that can lead them to legitimate contention. Can he give football his top focus and be the quarterback that we know he can be? We've seen the talent. His talent is unquestionable. His ability to make clutch throws in a big spot, his ability to run the ball. He's when things are going well, I'd say, in terms of his mobility, he's can be a quality quarterback, and I think things could go well. And if they go well, the number one storyline there is going to be a breakout year for second year wide receiver from Ohio State. Of course, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. obviously, but yeah, talking about Kyler Murray, the starting quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals. I just wanted to give my takes on him. Yeah, I kind of like what you said about Kyler Murray, Tad. I mean, obviously, can he stay focused? Can he stay disciplined? Can he bring on that leadership role? From a fantasy perspective, the stats are there. I mean, an Iron Man quarterback last year, playing in 17 games completely. He looks like, yeah, 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He did get sacked 30 times, so his offensive line did a fairly decent job there. But you maybe wanted to see to be honest, kind of high on the interceptions, but he did throw for 3,851 yards. We mentioned the receiver room, and that was the second highest of his career there. So, yeah, Tad, with that being said, and not only that, but his rushing ability, he also did rush for 5 touchdowns. So, with that being said, Tad, where would you rank Kyler Murray amongst Call of Duty players? I'm sorry, NFL quarterbacks.
Yeah, a very, very interesting question there. I do think Kyler, when things are going well, when he's rushing the ball well, throwing the ball well, I think he can be, like, I'll say top 12 level quarterback, maybe. I think he's definitely got the potential. And as I was saying, I think he could help Marvin Harrison Jr. be in line for a breakout year. I'm big on the second year for Marvin Harrison out of Ohio State. I think he's going to break out. Just his catchability, his ability to get the ball in a big spot. I think he can win one on one. I think it's going to be very fun to watch him compete in the next several years. I think he's a high level player, and he's certainly the leader of the wide receiver room. But my question for this wide receiver room is, can anybody else step up?
I mean, yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. I love me some Marvin Harrison Jr. I'll tell you what, he's so fun to watch on Sundays. He gets me so excited. He gets me just so hyped up. A very flashy receiver, a very athletic wide receiver, a tremendous leader. He goes out there and plays with attitude and effort and hustle on every single play, Tad. He puts heart into his craft. I am personally a big fan of Marvin
Yeah,
Harrison Jr. out of Ohio State. I don't know if you're as big of a fan as I am on that, but yes,
yeah,
I'm very big on
I'm a fan.
Mr. Marvin Harrison Jr. To answer your question, though, um, if some of the other receivers can step up, absolutely. I mean, this is a receiver room with all kinds of potential. Um, I mean, you look at Michael Wilson, you look at Zay Jones, Greg Dortch, even. Yeah, can some of those guys kind of step up, take on a bigger role? Can Marvin Harrison Jr. go out there, keep setting the good example for them in the way that he's going to need to do that? As far as draft picks, it does look like Arizona only drafted an offensive guard, which we'll get into that. Hayden Connor out of Texas. So they didn't really add anything in that regard, too. the wide receiver room. So they're pretty confident in the guys that they currently have. Um, yeah, I mean, Michael Wilson, to me, honestly, him going into his what'll be his third season now. I'm really looking for him to come out here and just elevate his game to the next level and see if he can start um, complementing what Marvin Harrison Jr. already does in this defense or in this offense. I'm so sorry.
Yes, definitely. Some interesting takes on the wide receiver room. James Conner, I know he is a seasoned veteran now, and I'm very interested to see if he can continue to play at a high level to lead this running back room. He's known for getting a good bit of touchdowns. So can he continue to do that? Can he continue to play at a high level? And also some younger players like Trey Benson and Amari DiMercato behind him.
Yeah, Amari DiMercato to me, I would rank Amari DiMercato number one amongst running back threes in the league. This is a very deep running back room, and I mean you're gonna need it. Yeah, you mentioned it, James Conner. James Conner to me is a top 10 running back in the league. I really like some of the breakaway runs he can get, some of his juking ability. He can find holes. I mean, he's a running back that when he has Tad, when this man has green in front of him, trust and believe he's gonna. I mean, he's gonna do his thing when he has green grass right in front of him. So, um, look for him to just always do that, always be reliable and serviceable in his craft
Mhm.
and what he does. We can always appreciate it. Same with Trey Benson. I don't want to sit here and sleep on Trey Benson. Trey Benson, a very solid running back too. I mean, I mean, they were able to utilize him a little bit. 13 games, 63 carries. He only did score a touchdown last year. They utilized him a little bit in the receiving game, but obviously, so he's going to be looking to get more reps, get more catches, get more touches, and the biggest question mark in the wide receiver room is, yeah, can you develop Benson and DeMarcado to be your guys of the future? And you also have DJ Dallas in there as well, who obviously will serve as mainly the veteran return man, but he'll still get his runs too.
Yeah, it definitely seems that you are a bit higher on the running back room than I am. I mean, I think this is a very solid room, but it seems to I'm not quite as high. I think that there still is quite a bit to prove. And for me, I'd say James Conner maybe top 15 level, but definitely some interesting players there. But one of the better players on this offense, another high level player, Trey McBride, the tight end. He had a difficult time getting into the end zone, but in terms of his receptions and his yards, he was a very high level player, and I think he's due for some positive touchdown play this year. He'll get more touchdowns, and I think he's going to solidify himself as a top five tight end in the league.
I know for a fact Kyler Murray and Trey McBride have both worked together in the offseason to do exactly that. Expect Kyler to throw lots of touchdowns to Trey McBride. Or maybe they were playing some Call of Duty together. But who knows? Or maybe they were doing a little bit of both. So I expect those two to be more developed. And Trey McBride, one of the more upper tier tight ends in the league for sure. The offensive line is pretty mid tier on PFF. They do got him ranked number 16th. Mentioned signing Jonah Williams in free agency. Paris Johnson Jr. Took a big step up. So, yeah, you got Johnson Jr. at that left tackle spot. Freuhold at the center position, probably your two best offensive linemen there. And then Jonah Williams, he's going to be coming in. He's into his fifth year now out of Alabama. Will Hernandez, the guard, and Evan Brown. So this is a pretty veteran led offensive line. So this is an offensive line filled with lots of leaders, but can they step up and be more than just average?
Yeah, so can we see some improvement? It seems they're making some efforts to improve the offensive line, so you do love to see that. You also need to see the same thing now, switching gears on the defensive line. You need to see the same thing. They do have a lot of veterans, obviously, guys like Calais Campbell. You bring in Dalvin Tomlinson, Josh Sweat. So those are some more experienced players, but you also add some players in the draft as well, guys like Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss, and also Jordan Birch out of Oregon. So some interesting additions there to that defensive line. And I know they're looking for some improvement from prior years.
Yeah, PFF here does have them ranked number 20th on defensive lines. But here's the thing about the defensive line. I really do like Calais Campbell. I'm really excited to see what Josh Sweat can bring. I do feel like that those two can get after the quarterback quite a bit. You maybe want to see a little bit more out of Darius Robinson, but though he's still developing going into his third season. And then you have you could now say seasoned veteran leader Dalvin Tomlinson there at the nose guard position, or the nose tackle, I'm sorry. And then even Zaven Collins, former first rounder out of Tulsa. So a front seven filled with veteran leaders who still need to develop and come together. Um, and then the linebackers will be very interesting. Yeah, what's your take on the linebackers?
Yeah, Akeem Davis, Gaither, Mac Wilson, you already touched a bit on Zaven Collins. So I think this is a very experienced linebacker room. I think that there is some potential there, and I think they're just going to need to continue to up their level of play. But I would say for me personally, I'm most excited to see the secondary. Looking at this team, obviously one of the veteran leaders on this team is Budda Baker, one of the best safeties in the league. I would say he's easily a top five safety in the league. And then you bring on Will Johnson out of Michigan, your second round draft pick, and I think he is one of the best one-on-one coverage cornerbacks in the draft. And I think early on in his career, he could make a case for defensive rookie of the year. I think I'm that high on him. I think he's going to have a phenomenal rookie season. He's going to have some tough matchups, and I'm just excited to watch this secondary play.
Yeah, Will Johnson in a pass heavy NFC West with some of the wide receiver rooms in that division. You're going to need that out of Will Johnson, the rookie.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Max Melton also in his second year, so we're just going to see some very young players kind of just grow as they go. So I'm very excited to see what this defense looks like. And this is a defense that is going to be led by Nick Rallis, the defensive coordinator. So I'm very interested to see how that goes for him. He's been with the team since 2023 as the DC. So a big year for him. And can he get some of these young players up to speed? I think that's going to be a big test.
And this is a Budda Baker led defense. Make no mistake about that. Like Budda Baker, I mean, yeah, you bring in some of the other guys that I just mentioned, but Budda Baker, this is still his defense. So this is a defense led by him. And he's still gonna have to go out there and be their best playmaker.
Yes, I would certainly agree with that. Touching a bit on the special teams here, you have Chad Ryland. He will be handling the kicking duties, so that's a big job for him. We'll see how things go. He's a fourth round pick out of Maryland in 2023. So I'm very interested to see how that goes for him. 44 out of 57 in his career. So I'm sure those are numbers he would like to improve upon. So a big job there. What's
And
your
then you
take on
got
Blake?
And then yeah, you got punter and holder, punter and who will be the designated holder, Blake Gillikin, coming into his sixth season out of the Penn State. He previously played for the Saints for the first 2 years of his career. Now going into his second season, last year he punted only 30. He punted only 38 times last season. So you have that, and he only got one touchback, it looks like, though he did get 19 punts inside the 20. So hopefully for the Cardinals, you don't see too much of him on the field.
Yes, you're definitely hopeful of that. We did touch a bit on Greg Dortch and DJ Dallas handling the kickoff return duties. Very solid there. And now we're going to talk about one of the more tenured players in the league, a champion in a past life. It's Aaron Brewer, the long snapper, the champion of Super Bowl 50 with your Denver Broncos, Will. So he has playoff pedigree. He's been through some big years, and he also was involved as the long snapper on Matt Prater's then NFL record 64-yard field goal back in 2013, several years ago. So now here he is in Arizona. He's been with the team since 2016. He's continually re-signed. He's continually won some kicking duels, and right now he's on a 1-year deal, so he's very experienced. He played college at San Diego State, 196 games played, so he'll probably break the 200 game mark in this season. So I'm expecting big things out of the Super Bowl champion Aaron Brewer.
Absolutely. Do you think Arizona upgrades or downgrades from 8 and 9?
I feel like Arizona is a team that is in a fairly similar spot they were last year. We know they have a lot of players that have the talent, that have the skills. Can they actually take the next step? Can Gannon lead his team to the next level? I'm very interested to see this. I think I'm going to be fairly conservative and say they win. I'll say 6 to 9 games. I'm not exactly high on them taking a jump, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that is certainly a very interesting range that you listed there. Um, Me personally, I'm a bit higher on the Cardinals. I think this is the year that Kyler Murray steps up, turns into that next level quarterback. Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, I don't think sophomore slumps necessarily exist for wide receivers, in my personal take. So I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is gonna just take it to the next level too. This will be this to me. This will be a shockingly good Cardinals team. I think. It's a coin flip on whether or not they make the playoffs.
Certainly, they'd be hoping they'll be competing for the playoffs. Thank you all for watching the Gridiron Glory here with Will and Tad. Please continue to like and subscribe and follow for exclusive punter and long snapper reports. Thanks for following.